Is arts and culture important to Black space? Is it a healing agent? There are spaces in our communities that we have that I think are incredibly important. And today we have with us sweet friend Sean Beeks, that is going to talk to us about arts and culture in Black spaces as a part of our community. She does a phenomenal job at Love and Poetry, right?
Peace, Love, and
And so,
Poetry.
Peace, Love, and Poetry.
Yeah.
So talk, welcome
Thank
to the show.
you.
Thank you for coming to
Honored
hang
to
out.
be here.
You my girl.
You mine, you my brother.
So I wanted to talk with you as an expert as it relates to arts and culture in our communities. What we have seen is a departure of arts and culture, particularly in schools now, right? So we're funding a lot of different programs, but we're no longer funding arts and culture in the way that we really should. Is that damaging our communities? And if so, where else can we find arts and culture?
Well, as a child growing up in Wilmington, it was very rare. It was difficult to find any arts and culture. And I was always the arts, culture, music girl, like in my family. I always loved literature, reading, music, and instruments. Took naturally to the oboe and things of that nature, like classical music. So it was really difficult being an urban young girl growing up to be able to tap into that. Fortunately, I had a very eclectic aunt in Brooklyn who said, send her up here with me. And that's how I got my culture. And I realized it was part of the Brooklyn culture, the environment. You know, I can go to Prospect Park and sit. It's going to be a drum circle over here. It's going to be dancing over here at all the restaurants and things like that. The bodegas, it was always live music, someone doing some entertainment out on the sidewalk. Drawing, you know, sculpting, things of that nature, making jewelry. It was always a part of the Brooklyn culture, and I just had an affinity for it, naturally drawn to it, and it made me miss that. It made me miss that here. And what I found as a child growing up is that, you know, all of us have different things that makes our heart full, and we have to pay attention to that. And in our communities now, we tend to think that everybody's video game kids or something like that. If you're not playing football or basketball, what are you doing? And it also is very good for calming one's spirit. It's good for the intellectual development of a child or of a person. So yeah, we're absolutely missing it, and I think it's absolutely necessary to our well-being.
How do we, because Wilmington can be, right, a very, very strange bird.
Yes,
right? I remember when Zanzibar Blue was here.
Yes,
remember when Zanzibar Blue was here? And what was funny is that we would not go to the Zanzibar Blue here. We would still travel to Philadelphia, right? So is that a part of the lack of the environment, the matrix, the culture of Wilmington, and we were going to look for a specific culture that could not be found just in that one space?
Yeah, because for some reason we still, as a culture as a person in a movement of the arts culture here, you have to educate as you express your art or entertain or whatever it is. You have to educate your audience, and you have to create the value. It's very more difficult here because people think that they're not going to get quality. You know, it's just like when you hire a contractor. Most people think certain contractors don't have the expertise, they're not going to do a good job. And so that contractor, at every event, every opportunity, every time they do a job, it has to be phenomenal so the word of mouth gets spread. And that's been my approach. It's just like, look, at every opportunity, make it high quality, and then it'll grow. And that's how, but I had to educate, and I had to not sacrifice quality for quantity and things of that nature. So that's part of it. And another thing is that we have a tendency to think in our arts culture in Wilmington that we don't have enough talent here, but we do. It just has to be nurtured. They have to have a platform to be able to express it. And then we have to show them financial support.
Wow.
Because in this work, it costs money to be able to produce an arts program or cultural program. And so we have to support. And and the only way to overcome that, in my opinion, is to keep giving a quality product, up the ball.
Yes.
Always look for a way to up the ball.
Yes.
And then get people to recognize and appreciate along the way. But yes, I remember we used to go, I was in Zanzibar all the time.
Okay.
But you know, the good news is we've gone from everybody Zanzibar closing to we have the R lounges now. We have some smaller venues with live music, you know, downtown. We have some younger groups that are popping up, and you know, I Am Art. He's doing a great job, you know, starting to do things for the younger demographic. So it's coming along, and it's been decades. It's been decades, but it's coming along, and I think just like any city, once we become more consistent with it, it'll be part of our foundation as it was in the 60s.
And I owe Mayor Williams, Mayor Baker, and the mayor before them, James Sills, a huge apology. Mm-hmm. Because I was one of the complainers. Mm-hmm. I really was. There's nothing to do here. And then I went to the Jazz Festival.
Right.
It was phenomenal. I had an incredible time. And so sometimes the ignorance from which we speak, right? That we really haven't talked about the lounges and those places. And whether or not, particularly for the Christian community, those spaces are, that's what I was just talking with my mom about, right? Mm-hmm. Can we enjoy ourselves,
yes,
you know, without violating some commandment
right,
or something? You know, is there a thou shalt not listen to music, you know, commandment? And so we've got to be able to, and I was telling then Representative Williams, now Mayor Williams, when he was running, that we somehow have to create a Wilmington that is attractive to the human capital, that we're having mass exoduses of people leaving our city, going to places like Georgia, Carolina, so on and so forth. And I think arts and culture is a major part of maintaining that.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I will hope that I believe that Mayor Williams and other mayors have tried, that he's building on from the other mayors, especially Mayor Seals, is that recognizing that you have to have some sort of cultural undertone for a reason people come to you. Even Nashville, Tennessee recognizes that.
Wow, that's true.
When you go to Nashville now, they call themselves the home of music.
Right.
You know, and so they make sure music is everywhere. So when you're at the bus stop, they have little speakers.
Wow.
That's playing blues and country music out of the speakers. When you are in a park, you know, we have it in Clifford Brown Park. Is the only park you can hear music, but they have it in all the parks.
Yes.
You know, they make it so that you want to come outside and be in the park, even if it's not live music. They have speakers playing all the time. They've made it part of their infrastructure. So we haven't been able to tap into our history except for the Clifford Brown and make it as part of our daily culture, why people will come to Wilmington.
And we've been looking for that, right?
Yes.
We've been looking for some sense of identity, something that would attract individuals other than Delaware Park, right? Right.
Absolutely.
So I think that is phenomenally important, to be able to create an environment where that's not just, you know, several days out of the year, but every single day, the culture of Wilmington is one of the arts.
And that's one of the challenges. We haven't been able to really identify and dig into what our culture is and build upon that. So it's fragmented, so to speak. You know, you might have a pocket of reggae over here, lovers, you might have a jazz, you might have some blues, but we haven't been able to figure out a way to intertwine that and say, this is the culture of Wilmington, this is what you can find in Wilmington from arts and culture perspective, and this is why you should come to our city.
Gotcha.
We haven't been able to do that.
We got about 1 minute left. Let's talk about peace, love, and poetry. When's your next piece that's going on? When's the next time I'm going to be there? Snapping my fingers. So tell me.
You're going to be dancing too, so you better check on that. Peace, Love, and Poetry is the Soul Opera Edition is at World Cafe Live, September the 4th. It's called Telling Stories of Love and Life Using Poetry, Music, Song, and Improv. The reason we do that is because we use messages of hope, love, healing, those things through arts, and we do it through storytelling, so to speak, but we use music and culture. And I hope, and I'm thankful that the city and the state has supported me, and that people are coming out to the fact that we're downstairs in a big room. I was on the stage like Sheila, he was just here, wow, right? But we're downstairs now, and we're so excited about it because I know we're going to move some emotions up in there. We're going to help people move through some things through arts and culture.
Healing space,
it's
right?
a healing space. It's a safe space for anyone, single, married, Buddhist, Christian, it doesn't matter. You know, it's a safe space. It's the one space where I feel like we all come together in the city.
Outstanding. September
the 4th, 8 p.m. sharp.
Where to get tickets?
You can get tickets at World Cafe Live, 5th and Market Streets, or call 302-994-1400. If you want advance tickets for discount, make sure you inbox me.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna sit up front. I need to sit up front. I think somebody laughed with me recently. I told them I was at the barber shop. They said, "What are you cutting?" There's nothing to cut. But the truth is, the barber shop, beauty salons, cultural spaces, art spaces are very much healing spaces.
And they should be safe spaces for us.
Yes.
They should be a space where we can come and fellowship safely regardless of our backgrounds, our religious beliefs, or our histories. Yes.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you for letting the
You
sister
my girl.
hang, and you my brother.
We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
The Center for Business Growth is an incubation center. And as an incubation center, we have new and emerging businesses coming to the beautiful Claymont Community Center on the 2nd floor, where we do nothing but grow businesses. I am a member of the National Professional Women's Association, and I'm also the only certified National Business Incubation Association member in Delaware. So I look forward to working with the clients. I look forward to growing the incubator. I look forward to having a fantastic and rewarding experience. As our clients today go and grow, we invite you to come into the center, grow your business, and go back into the community to develop the economy in Newcastle County.
The reason why we decided to join the Center for Business Growth is because we felt as though some of the training and the networking and a host of other services they offer would allow us to grow to the next level and be able to provide jobs for Delawareans. And that's our ultimate goal, and that's what we're passionate about.
First State Weddings needed the Center for Business Growth. We needed help from A to Z. They provided business training, they helped us write a business plan, we increased our sales, we acquired insurance, we were assisting with technology and marketing.
In addition, each business will receive individual consultations and attend monthly group meetings. Educational and support services will be available from DFLY, its partners, and other local agencies.
The Center for Business Growth offered me a place where I can call my office. After working out of my home for many years, the center actually gave me a place, a phone, a computer, where I can now, have meetings with my clients rather than my dining room table. I think that was a big attribute for me, from the center, as well as networking, different classes on financial literacy, marketing, and all kinds of strategies that will help your business grow as well as mine.
To find out more about the Center for Business Growth, please log on to www.dfli.org or call 302-792-1200. Make your business grow today.
Will it work? That's the question of the day. Will the anti-stop snitching campaign that Anthony Harris is developing, which I believe is a good campaign. The question is, will it work? Call in now, 302-661-4468 with your comments about this particular campaign. I want to go back to what you said, Hanif. Somebody's doing something, right? So no matter what we feel, I want to applaud Anthony Harris, the chief, for doing something with regard to the need for us to be able to have better relationships with the police department and converse about crimes that's happening in our communities.
Most definitely. Out in the green room, I gave the chief his props because
I gotta correct you. My mom said, somebody else said the green room. It's the black room.
Oh, it's the
long
black room.
as-
All right.
It's the black room. on the exchange, ain't no green room, no red room. It's the black room. All things chocolate here. Go ahead, man.
you know, I'm in the all black everything anyway. But now I was telling the chief, I really did give him his props for WPD trying something, right? Because in our community, we have so many people that complain, that talk about the negativity, but you rarely see people jump out there and try something out the box to fix it. So, you know, will it work or not? I don't have enough details on it to say that it will or will not work, but I am glad that they're trying something.
I am too. 302-661-4468. We got a couple of moments before we have to shut down the phone. So if you have a comment for Anthony Harris or any one of the guests that are here today, or you want to comment about the show itself, 302-661-4468. You haven't been on today, man, but you're on now. I'm certain that you got something to say.
Who, me? No, like we spoke earlier, the one thing that I really like to clap my hands, give you applaud is that you have to show the people that you guys care. You know, I said it in there that the thought process is that the police department don't care, so why should we? So at least if you're doing something, like you said, you're doing something. If you show that visibility out there that you care, maybe somebody else will care because, you know, honestly, I'm not saying it's the right answer or the wrong answer, but not every answer is right and not every answer is wrong. But at least you're putting forth the process.
Absolutely. We got a couple of minutes, sir. Any final things you want to say about
Yes.
the program?
What I would like to say is, and not necessarily program, but I'd like to make this comment. I've been on for 24 years. I've watched death on a regular basis. I've talked to people in time of hurt. I've talked to families in time of hurt. If you guys think that we don't struggle as a result of that, if you guys think that we don't suffer when we see death on a regular basis, let me tell you this. We do. It hurts, and our job is to do whatever is necessary to stop the violence.
I agree. I want to thank all of you guys for coming on and hanging out with us today. Man, from the beginning of the show to the end of the show, same thing with Anthony Harris. And my man, Ron Handy, has kind of been running things behind the scenes. He's an on-air personality, but he's also an off-air personality. The purpose of the exchange is to create dialogue. And sometimes that dialogue comes in the forms of individuals that 100% agree with one another. But sometimes it comes in the form of dialogue that takes place with antithetical points of view. The hope of the exchange is that the foremost thought leaders in the African American community can have a space to allow their views and perspectives to be shared with a degree of authenticity. I believe for the inaugural show, we did that. That we created a space where everybody could lend their points of view and it be a safe space. And so I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you've enjoyed the first session of the exchange. We'll be back at you the next fourth Sunday in August, and we'll have an entirely different group of individuals and things that are going on in our communities. I want to thank our sponsors. You guys are incredibly important to making sure that the show continues to air. And so I want to thank Blue Films Media, Ivan Thomas, you that dude. He made things happen, along with Denise Gilliam Harris. Thank you so much for your constant support. And all of you that are praying and continue to undergird the exchange. Thank you for pushing me out here to make sure that we give voice to the voiceless, to those individuals that don't necessarily have a platform. We want to give them a platform so that we can create cultural shifts in our communities. Until next time, I'm Dr. Morton. See you next time. Peace.